So, so where do we say Venus? So Venus goes here, the Empress connects these two, and then High Priestess, which is Luna, goes here. So if you look, it's really interesting to see these things reflected, right? Where you see how, and like I said, take a deep breath, it's all fractal, right? You know, and like, while I could go in and there's more, right? We do the zodiac and we might do them later. I just wanted to show you how you can start to see it articulated on here, where you see this stuff reflected. And in itself, it's a reflection of itself as well, and the way this stuff moves. I could talk about the alphabet of desire all day, just talking about this stuff. But for now, I think as long as you have this dynamic, maybe you'll be able to digest it and do something with it later. I really recommend that you look into it and see all, like, so, because, like, for instance, the physical aspect of death is release, while the physical aspect of life or sex is frustration. So if you can see that dynamic, right? Frustration, 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 release. Right? I think you guys know what I'm talking about? So you can see that stuff, you'll start to see that stuff going on in here. You see these poles, and when you see the pole, you see how you resolve it. Move on. Okay. So, did that. All right, so now we'll get into something a little more practical. Now that we know our planets, and we are talking about, doing, magical work and stuff, one of the things that is, useful to know is your planetary days and your planetary hours. And so basically what you could say, easiest way to say it is every planet of remember, because we were skipping Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, right? We're just doing the 7 traditional planets. Every one of those planets rules a day. And we actually know the days because the days are named for it, and I'll show you. Cool, and there's a cool way to describe this. All right, so we're going to go around the tree of life, or going in order. So we start with Saturn, right? Then we go to Jupiter. Then we go to Mars. We go to the Sun. We go to Venus. Mercury. And finally the Moon. So you see that here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now watch this. Okay. As I said, the planets rule days, and we know it because we have their names. Saturn is Saturday. Sunday, the sun, right? Sunday. Monday.
Monday.
So, watch. We go Saturday to Sunday, to Monday, to Tuesday, to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're back. We've made that 7-pointed star. Now, the reason that we know this, right? Saturday, Sunday, Monday is the moon, right? Monday, moon. Tuesday is named for the Norse god Tyr. Tyr's Day, Tuesday. Wednesday is also Wotan, or Odin. Odin's Day, Wotan's Day, Wednesday. Thursday is Thor's Day, right? Thor's Day.
Thor.
And then Friday is either Frigg or Freya. They may be the same person or the same deity or whatever. It's not worth going into. Regardless, either way, it works for our purposes because she's Venus in either respect, right? And then we just see that. So like now we know, all right, so today's Sunday, right? So the sun would rule today, right? So today would be a great day to do solar work, for instance. Now, additionally, it gets even more complicated. And I suggest if you really want to get into this, make your own chart, or there's stuff that you can find. But the idea is even while the days follow this order, the hours follow this order. Okay, so the planetary days or the magical day starts at sunrise and ends at so it starts at sunrise to the next sunrise. So sunrise to sunset is the first half of the day, and then sunset to sunrise is the second part. And what you do is you take the number of hours in the daylight hours and you divide that by 12, and then you take the night and you divide that by 12. So it doesn't always, except on the equinoxes, it's never even. Okay, but the idea is that the first day of Sunday is the sun. So at dawn today would have been the hour of the sun, and then it would have been the hour of Venus, the hour of Mercury, and so on, and then it would come back, right? So it just cycles through. But once you cycle through all the days and all the hours, you get right back to the very first one again, which is cool, right? So anyway, but when you are looking, so if you have the time, which you should, you never really want to be rushing to get a spell together or whatever, but ideally you want to pick the right planetary day and hour to do the kind of work that you're doing. And that's where knowing the names of the planets, and their words helps to pick what kind of operation is best to do, whether you want to do some communication work or you want to, worry about your business and finances, or whether you want to get, some obstacles out of your path. There's, that's why we do this. And that's why we pick what day to do it on, because in theory, those energies are more, pronounced that day. And then ultimately the idea is once your operation is done, you can expect results usually in threes. 3 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, maybe. But the idea is that it tends to come in through, yep.
What is the significance of the 7-pointed star that's there?
Well, the significance is by drawing it, it's what I think it's cool, because by following the Kabbalistic order, but connecting them based on the days of the week, we can make that symbol, which is cool, right? In that they follow that order. Okay. And we tend, when we use a 7-pointed star, it tends to refer to the planets. Not always, but it tends to,
the days of the week.
Right. Well, in things that are in sevens. Yeah. Right? Which the colors are in sevens, and the days of the week are in sevens, all kinds of stuff are in sevens. But, all right, so we said 3 hours, 3 days, 3 months, or 3, hours, days, months. But ultimately, what we want to do, and what I invite you all to do today, right now, invite you right now to invite synchronicity into your life. If you authorize synchronicity, it'll happen. And
so what gets synchronized with what?
Well, in theory, you get synchronized with yourself.
Oh.
In theory, that's the ultimate goal. Is that we want we all have ultimate goals, right? There's all kinds of ultimate goals. The ultimate goal to become the abscissimus and one with God, and the ultimate goal to gain knowledge and conversation with the holy guardian angel, which is kind of a classic one. The idea that you are in direct communication with your higher self, where it talks to you and you hear it. I can't claim to have that. I feel like my communication has always been, I don't know, I just always followed my instincts, and they never steered me wrong, so I kept doing it, kind of thing. That was never as opposed to Carol, who seems to have, her HGA has a Bluetooth in her ear that just talks to her all the time. I don't have that. I'm really jealous of that. But, it's, but in theory, but I still see it. I still see synchronicity in my life all the time. And it manifests in ways of course that's what happened. The crazy thing that happened this time, we get used to it. And it's cool, right? It's cool. So, not that that's the point. The point isn't just to be cool. Although, I don't know, I would argue that the middle pillar is the spiritual attempt to be cool. Because you're balancing the poles. It's weird. All right, that's a whole other thing. We can get drunk and talk about that another time. How about that? Okay, so